Here it is, our stock type R front lip.
Lots of smoke. That's not good.
This is not a Gatorade I'm interested in drinking, but
Deeper, slightly pearlier tone to it.
all right, we're back on the dyno here at Levine Motorsports, trying to figure out why VTEC is not engaging. It appears to be an electrical issue. It's not related to oil pressure or oil delivery. Eric was saying that the amps being delivered to the VTEC solenoid were too low, so we're checking grounds now. After cleaning up all the grounds, the problem persisted, and as you can see, the solenoid engages when it's connected directly to the positive terminal on the battery, once again ruling out anything mechanical.
Still got.
Well, we've been chasing this for a while now. We can't pinpoint the actual cause of VTEC not engaging, so we are going to take the shortcut of adding a relay in. This will allow Eric to power the VTEC solenoid. It's, I think, a very reasonable workaround at this point, rather than spending the rest of the day trying to diagnose something. So let's move on to getting VTEC engaging and us actually making some power with this engine. Wiring up a relay is a relatively straightforward process, with it needing power, ground, and a signal wire. And yes, you can see Eric is using solder, which I'm sure there'll be lots of conversation about, but according to Eric, he's never had a solder joint failure, and he's built and maintained some of the fastest race cars in North America over the last 20 years or so. And would you look at that, the new relay is working like a charm. VTEC is crack-a-lackin', so let's go! Oh wait, what's this? That timing belt is looking a bit suspicious. So we're off the dyno and we're on the lift, and that's never a good sign. And this is a really weird one. We've got VTEC working and we fired the car up so Eric could continue tuning. And that's when Pete noticed that the timing belt looked really loose. So we shut it down, and physically you could feel the belt was way too loose. So we retensioned it on the dyno and fired the car back up again, but it immediately detensioned. So there's something going on with the tensioner. Eric's actually got a really interesting theory. Even though I bought a brand new OE bolt for the tensioner and a new spring, so like everything in there is brand new, he said he's had an instance where a new bolt from Honda was a little too long and it was bottoming out in the hole. So if you were torquing it against the bottom of the hole, but it wasn't actually torquing down tight on the tensioner itself. And now for the third or maybe fourth time in the project, the timing system gets torn down, this time at the speed of light, since Eric's done this job a million times before. Well, everything apart, everything retimed, and Eric's much happier with the way the bolt feels tightening it. He just put a washer on it, and so our best guess is that bolt was bottoming out in the hole, and that's why it wasn't tightening and holding the tensioner correctly. So here we go, back together again and back on the dyno. With the belt holding tension, we're back in business, and Eric can finally work his magic on the keyboard as he dials in a fully custom tune on the Link ECU. As I'm sure some of you know, with a fully custom engine build like this, you can't use the stock tune or even an off-the-shelf tune for a, quote, built B series. You need a professional tuner, or you need to take HP Academy's EFI tuning course. And of course, if you do, be sure to use code SPEED55 at checkout to get 55% off that course or any of their other courses. This meticulous process can take many hours, but Eric has so much experience tuning Honda engines that he made pretty short work of it, including using the fuel and oil pressure sensors to set up safeties that put the engine into limp mode should it see either drop below safe levels. These safeties can literally save a bone stock or expensive custom engine like this from an early death. Just another of the many advantages of going to a fully programmable ECU like the Link we're using here. We were starting to see some pretty big numbers pop up on the screen, but Eric could tell from the map sensor readings that there was a restriction holding it back a bit, and he suspected it was the Comptech icebox. So he started experimenting first by taking the lid off the icebox and then replacing the entire system with intake tubes of various lengths and diameters, and as you'll see in a second, it turns out his hunch was right on the money. fellas, we finally got there. Thank you, Eric, for your perseverance.
Yeah, no problem.
You helped bring my dreams to life here. And of course, tuning has worked out remarkably well. It's made the number exactly pretty much you said it would make, 250 at the wheel.
With a cat, it's pretty good.
Yeah, with a cat, that is good. So we did cheat a little bit to get to 250 because we swapped the Comtech icebox out for like basically a tube.
Yeah, which is an intake length that usually works for B series that I've proven over and over and over. It needs to be at least 34 inches.
Right. The other thing with the Comtech icebox is it really dampens the sound down a lot.
Yeah, we could barely hear the crossover.
Yeah.
And then we just took the filter out of the box and clear as day you can hear VTEC.
Popping VTEC all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to do your intake setup for the sound as much as for the power.
Yeah.
Because really an extra 5-wheel horsepower for, a type pleasure. It's not really a race car, it's a pleasure mobile for me. Just to recap the numbers here for you quickly, we did make 167 foot-pounds of torque, we'll call it.
Yep.
Which is, man, the Type R 1.8 made like 118, so that is like a serious pickup of torque. And for peak horsepower, we made 250.2 at 8,300 RPM. And you can also see with this different intake that we swapped out to, we picked up a lot of power down here in the sort of like, 4,000 to 5,500 RPM.
Yeah.
And then it carries nicely, and then you pick up a nice bit at the top too.
Yeah, 245 on the Comtech box, 250 on our style intake. Torque is a big jump with our intake too. Like,
oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even look at that, but there is a bunch of torque there to be had too. So yeah, I would say if we want to chase more power, that would be the next move, wouldn't it? To explore that intake some more. So a very big thanks to Eric again.
Yeah.
And if you guys need tuning done, Levine Motorsports is here in St. George, Ontario, sort of between Cambridge and Brantford, more or less.
Yeah.
Kind of in that neck of the woods. And he is a Link distributor.
Link distributor.
So if you need Link tuning or if you need to buy Link products, you can buy that from Eric. And all we have left to do, Peter, is go back to the shop, do a little bit more, and then get you guys to the racetrack. Well, the first thing we need to do now that we're back is clean up this little gift that Mother Nature gave us. I don't know if she's not a fan of big VTEC or not, but that's not pretty. So let me clean that up real quick here. Just
that kind of feels like a theme with this build.
It does.
There's been a lot of shit going on.
It does feel like we've been pooped on a fair bit here, and you guys have also done a little bit of pooping on us in the comments section, but we understand. We understand when things go wrong. People like to point fingers and
so critical. It hurt my feelings.
I know. We do, however, read the comments and take your ideas to heart. We've been listening to you on the cosmetic side of the car. A lot of you said, "Oh, the wing ruins the car, and the big lip and splitter ruins the car."
I think so too.
I know you always thought so. And as a track car, I was willing to live with those aesthetic compromises for downforce. But now that I'm kind of like reeling this back into more of a street car, or like the type pleasure, as I'm calling it, I want it to look more stock. I want to be able to drive it around on the street and not feel like so much of a boy racer with that giant wing on there. So got some changes coming for you right now on that. Here it is, our stock Type R front lip.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite.
That's all it needs.
Look at the fitment on it.
It's OEM, buddy, it's OEM.
Yes.
Look at that.
Oh yes.
As I'm bragging, I can't quite.
Well,
There you
it
go.
does need a little bit of persuasion there, but you got it.
We're done.
Well, we got some screws to put in there, right? Or are we just gonna run it like that?
Breakaway front lip? No, let's do it right here. So here's our genuine J's Racing wing that we installed on a spare hatch. And if you watch the series where we track prepped this car for Lime Rock Grid Life, we also installed a polycarbonate rear window from Plastics for Performance out of the UK. Super high quality piece of polycarbonate. If you're looking to save weight, this is an amazing way to do it. It's a really high quality product. But I am excited to see the stock rear hatch and stock rear wing on this car again, because it really kind of defines the look of the Type R in a lot of ways, that sort of high-rise OEM wing. Pulling the winged hatch is pretty straightforward, with fishing the wiring loom out being the only part of the process that requires a bit of patience. Once that was done, we could unbolt the hatch from the roof, unscrew the struts that hold it open, and job done. Like they say in shop manuals, installation is the reverse of the removal process, and once again the only tricky part was really pulling the wiring back through the hatch to power the wiper motor and the lock. But luckily we had left the spare wire we used to fish it out of the OE hatch in place, so all we had to do was tape the harness to this wire and pull it through. From there we just had to plug everything in, reinstall all the OE plastics, clean off a bit of old dirt, reinstall the hatch weather seal, and boom, OEM Type R Aero is back. There you have it, stock hatch back on with a functional wiper, which I don't really care about, and functional defrost, which I don't really care about. I just wanted to look like a Type R again, and for me this makes it look like a Type R with that stock front lip.
So good.
Continuing the theme of making it look like a Type R again, not that a Recaro SPG is a bad thing in any track car, I do love this seat. I want to go back to the stock seat just for the ease of getting in and out. Frankly, the stock seats are fine for the few times a year I go to the track anyway. And if you want to insure your car with Hagerty, you don't want a racing bucket in it or harnesses either, as I've learned. In the States, you can. In Canada, you can't. That's also part of my thinking, is now I'll be able to put this car on insurance with Hagerty and have it insured for its true value, rather than just going with a generic insurance company where it's being assured as like a 98 Integra that they think is worth 10 grand. Swapping the driver's seat is a super simple process, 4 bolts and you're done. And I can always swap the Recaro SPG back in for track days, but for now I plan to do lots of street driving to enjoy this new engine. Who knows, maybe I'll even take this car down to classic Hondas on the Dragon. Oh man, you sit so much higher in this seat than the old one. It's gonna take a minute to get used to it again, but it is super comfy, so it will make for a nice street car. Here's the OE original floor mats for the Type R with the big logo here. But you can see they're filthy. They clean up okay, but there's a hole up here where your heel rests by the throttle pedal. When I saw our buddy Vince at version 1 or V.1 Motoring on Instagram had these brand new mats, I was like, oh, let me grab those. It'll freshen up the interior a bit. I didn't really notice that they looked different though. Here's the mats, and as you can see, it's totally different. It's black. The logo is a different size and even kind of a different style slightly. So I was like, are these reps? Are these real? I don't know. But Pete went online, searched that part number, and sure enough, these are legit OE Euro spec Integra Type R floor mats.
Ooh, I like that.
So
getting into some Euro spec here, not just JDM.
I didn't even know it, but apparently now I'm Euro spec. Just heard back from Vince at V1 Motoring. We'll put a link in the description to his Instagram in case you guys are shopping for any kind of JDM, EDM, Honda stuff. He's a huge Honda guy. He was telling me, yes, these are legit European market, left-hand drive Type R floor mats. They're the only ones left being produced, although he thinks maybe now they're not being produced anymore. And he said the USDM ones are long out of production, and new sets of them that were like hoarded by guys like Peter are now selling for $1,500. What I should have bought from Vince is a JDM Type R shift boot, because it's got the red stitching on it where the USDM ones don't.
Man, they shafted us on everything.
They did. And we're thinking we're gonna try to fit this back on here. We just think this will be a nice way to, again, kind of like go back to stock more or less visually. And there we have it. Looking much more stock, which I really dig. But I am thinking, internet, help me. Do they make low down seat rails for the stock seat? Because I'm still being freaked out how high I'm sitting in this car at the stock seat right now. Just putting the other mat in here and showing you how tidily the Link ECU is tucked away in here. Given that it uses the factory ECU housing, it just bolts into the stock location. We'll put the kick panel over here and it'll completely disappear. It'll look like it's all original, which is a super nice aspect of these plug-in Link ECUs. They just integrate so nicely with the car and with the existing wiring and everything that it just looks stock. For those of you who've been following along in this build, you'll know that these are custom 15x7 magnesium wheels built by Dan at Augment Wheel Company to resemble the JDM 16s, just in a 15-inch size, because you can get more track tires in a 15 than you can in a 16. However, being a championship white paint-matched wheel, you can see the brake dust on them shows really badly, and it is a struggle to keep them looking good. So I am tempted to go back to a stock pad, but I'm also going to change up the wheel and tire package. I'm going to go to more of a street wheel and tire package. The question is, do I stay with the championship white wheel, or do I go to like a black spoon wheel or a bronze Mugen wheel? Lots of cool options for this car, so let's show you what we've got now. Don't be fooled by the boxes, fellas, because as you Honda nerds will know, what you're seeing here are JDM 16-inch Integra Type R wheels that we had our buddy JP at Stripping Technologies in Cambridge, Ontario, refinish in championship white powder coat. For tires, we are of course going with Continentals. This time they're supremely good Extreme Contact Sport O2's ultra high performance summer tire in a 205/45 R16, one of the 2 tire sizes Honda used on these 16-inch wheels in Japan. Our Ranger tire installer and wheel and tire balancer made short work of pairing the two together, and despite using 25-year-old wheels, everything balanced out nicely. As you can see, the color match is excellent with the car and the center caps. As for the offset, well, that's another story. That's right, only championship white wheels for me on a championship white Type R. It's just such a cool look. I love it. Some people don't like white wheels on anything, and they don't like white on white. I've heard Matt Farah bad talk it, but on this one, Matt's just wrong. So these are, of course, JDM 16-inch Type R wheels. This is what the car would have come on in Japan, and I just love the look. I loved it so much I had Dan build us those 15-inch ones, but for the street, I just like the proportions of the 16s. And for tires, we have gone with Continental's Extreme Contact Sport O2s, our favorite summer tire. It is a supremely good, ultra-high performance summer tire, 340 tread wear, and it does extremely well at the racetrack. So even though we are stepping down a little bit in ultimate grip compared to the tire that we've taken off, as a daily driver, rain capable tire that's also very good at the racetrack and gives you really good feedback and really good feel as a driver, I'll take the Extreme Contact Sport O2s all day long. And there you go, JDM 16s are all bolted up, and from the side, they look exactly how I remember them looking on my original Type R. I had one back in like early to mid 2000s that I ran on this wheel setup, and I loved the look. However, I was at stock ride height, stock camber, and this car is lowered with quite a lot of camber in it. And so if you come to the front and look at how sunken in they are, ooh, this is not up to 2025 wheel fitment standards. Back in 2005, you might have got away with this look, but I can't stomach it now. However, Pete jumped into the stash and found a pretty genius solution for this. So Pete found these in the stash. You were saying they were off of like an S chassis car or something?
DP. They were supposed to be for an S chassis. You can see they're brand new.
They are.
I've had these for probably a decade.
Oh, wow.
They've been around for a while, but they are the best wheel spacers in my opinion. The design on them, if you show everybody,
yeah,
it's like brilliant the way it works.
So that drops in there with this special socket, and that gives you that nice flush, bolt on to the hub, and allows you to then have your wheel studs, in this case 15 mil further out. So we'll have 15s on the front and 10s on the back, which is actually kind of perfect on this car given the way the camber and everything's set up. There was a fix just waiting for us in the wings.
Now the only thing that can screw us here, Dave, is if the wheels have the backing plate. We have to look and see if these poke out, and they might hit the wheels. So
okay.
That is the one thing we do have to check.
Okay.
Actually, here, I'll show everybody right now. Let's see, are we good? Oh, we are good. Big pockets, you can see right there.
Well, we spoke too soon. These are for a 1.25 thread pitch, and Hondas are 1.5 thread pitch. So
Honda fail again.
Although we were so close, they won't thread on. I'll just order these in the right thread pitch and put these JDM wheels on in the future. But for now, I'm gonna go back to those Ultra Baller Magnesium 15s so that we can get to the racetrack. All right, this car is comfy and back to track spec on the wheels and tires. So to Toronto Motorsports Park we go. And here we are at Toronto Motorsports Park with my now stock-ish looking Type R. I do love how clean it looks and how Type R it looks with the stock aero back on it. Yes, it doesn't look as racy as it did with that Jay's Racing wing and the big P1 splitter and lip on the front, but for me, this is just pure Type R. And now you guys are going to see in real time me drive this car and experience this B20 VTEC for the very first time. I haven't driven it on the street, so I really have no idea what it's going to feel like or even sound like. So I'm really excited about just going out there, giving it a shakedown, and taking in the whole experience, because man, it has been a wild ride so far. Not great headroom though. All right, fellas, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little nervous here, and it is 34 degrees Celsius here. It's a furnace today, high humidity, but we're just gonna roll out here gently, put a little heat into the motor, put a little heat into myself. I'm already surprised how snappy the throttle is though. You can really feel how much lighter and more responsive the rotating assembly in the engine is. You know, with those forged pistons and lighter rods and everything, it just feels much snappier, even just rolling on the throttle there. So yeah, should be quite interesting once I'm up to temperature here and start to lean on it a little bit more. There are some radicals here today, so might hear the odd bumblebee go zipping by me. All right, I think we're the only two on track right now, so should be good to go. So let's give it a little taste of the full throttle here. Okay. Oh yeah, you can hear VTEC switching on there. This is a pretty tight and technical track, but man, the throttle response is insane, and it feels so much torqueier than the 1.8. Oh yeah. Yeah, once you roll onto it, it really pulls. It's got a different sound too. I'm just so accustomed to the sound of the 1.8. It's got a slightly deeper, slightly burlier tone to it. It's interesting, really interesting. Let's chuck it into turn 1 here. Car got lots of grip. It's quite reminiscent of a K20 actually in terms of its power delivery. I think the big difference is really the gearbox, this being a 5-speed and the K's having a 6, so the gear ratios are quite different, but in terms of power delivery, like when you roll onto the throttle there, the way it pulls you really aggressively out of the corners, it does feel K-killer capable for sure. Man, the track is bouncy this year too. It was a really harsh winter here, and I think we've had quite a bit of pavement heaving. God, it feels so good and torquey. Wow, it's the torque that surprises me. And at the top end, you expect it to have that, but the torque I really don't expect it to have.
Uh-oh, we got smoke, everybody. Lots of smoke. That's not good. You can see lots of smoke. Smoking.
Oh, I can smell it now.
Yeah, turn it off real quick. Open the hood. Something, my good friends. Oof. Yeah. This engine is likely overfilled with oil.
Pushing oil out?
Yeah, look at the radium catch can. Oh, prop this open.
Yeah.
But
I did overfill it a bit.
Oh my god, yeah. Look at it. It is absolutely puking.
Wow, okay.
Because it was smoking, so that's not good, because I was like, this thing's gonna catch fire. It looked like a ton of smoke.
Yeah, wow, that is not great. I know I did overfill it by, I thought maybe about a half liter when I put the VR1 in it. So let's see. It looked like it was pretty much on the mark there, but yeah, it's like right on the full mark there.
Yeah.
Even a hair below, maybe?
man, uh-oh.
Yeah.
See, this is what my worry was with that kind of setup. It's just
The breather off the block like that.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the fix is
Because I
for
think
this.
what's happening is it's so low that you're basically getting oil that's running up the block and straight into those tubes. But yeah, like let's pull the little dipstick on there
Yeah.
and have a look. And the car's not smoking, or so.
No,
you
no
know,
tailpipe
I think,
or anything.
Yeah, it's not like it's passing a lot of oil.
It doesn't clear the intake tube.
Oh boy, see our
We didn't
smart
think
idea.
of that when we put it there, did
Oh
we?
boy.
So we're going to open the petcock drain and see if there's a lot of oil in the can or not, or if it's just like bypassing the can entirely and getting pushed out at the top. So yeah, we've just got a empty Gatorade bottle there that we're gonna try emptying it into and see what it looks like.
You can see why this thing was smoking, because
Holy moly.
yeah, it was dripping onto the exhaust. So this is basically a fire hazard at this point.
If we can't kind of drain it and fix this.
And that's also why the oil level on this dipstick's not reading as high as I thought it should, because that is a lot of oil.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. That's very typical. See a little bit of water come out of it.
Yeah.
It does separate.
This is not a Gatorade I'm interested in drinking, but you can see there's a lot of water in there. So the catch can was separating the vapors quite nicely, but Pete thinks just out on the track with all the G-forces and stuff and the oil sloshing around that maybe it's just getting pushed up through the lines and into
It's
the can.
just too
'cause-
low, right? When you think about it.
Yeah.
Where those vent lines are,
Yeah,
because that's a lot.
that
Not
is
gonna lie.
that is a lot. Yeah,
That did
from
not
2
come
laps.
from the dyno, and basically the first lap it looked clean, and then all of a sudden on your second lap I noticed
Yeah.
right away it was starting to smoke.
Yeah,
So
and I
it
couldn't
filled up.
smell it or obviously see the smoke, so to me everything was fine, but it's good you waved me off when you did, because that's a lot of oil, like you said, falling on the exhaust system. That's when bad things can happen. Well guys, as much as I'd love to go back out there and rip a whole bunch more laps and maybe just like keep emptying the catch can every lap or two, it's just not worth the risk. So I hope you guys can understand, I just don't want to put my beloved Type R in that kind of risk for, you know, what is a solvable problem? It's just not one that we can solve today. So
Fires are bad.
yes, fires are bad, but the good news is this engine feels amazing on track. As I told you out there, I mean, it just feels so snappy, so torquey. It really feels like a potential K killer. In a strange way, this is actually kind of a fitting end to this whole build series. It's been a very, what I would call, realistic portrayal of the struggles of building your own engine and fixing all the little problems that come up along the way. Some of them self-inflicted, some of them just random acts of God, like that hole in the cylinder bore. So it's been a journey, but you know what? I've still thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was very rewarding to get out on track and experience this engine myself that I built myself. So for you guys out there, I would say please don't be discouraged by any of this. This is just what happens when you build an engine and shake a car down at the track for the first time. The car will come back out to the track at some point in the future, and you'll see it again. Maybe we'll do some kind of B versus K battle in the future. In the meantime, we still have a little bit of sorting out to do, but we have a healthy running B20 VTEC. My dream spec engine is alive. I built it myself thanks to the help of the guys at HP Academy, thanks to guys like Eric Levine. So thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate your support and all the positive comments. I did get a lot of you guys messaging me on Instagram saying, you know, this is the most realistic and relatable build I've seen in a long time. So thank you guys for that. I really do appreciate it. And man, I'm in love with this car, guys. Look at it. It looks the part. It feels the part with that B20 VTEC. So it is truly my dream spec Type R now.